What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at the new Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Resonator support. It's coming out in the form of a structure deck, so I'm going to go ahead and show you two combos. I found these on the internet. I will link where I found them below. Two really good videos, but the only problem is there's music behind them and they go so fast. It's hard to understand what's actually going on. So if you want to play this deck, this is kind of the video for you to see, to get a better idea kind of how these cards work, and maybe some basic combos is really one that I want to make this video for. So this is the most common 2-card combo you're going to see on the internet. Sure, there's lots more, but this is the main one. This is one of the new supports, Bone Archfiend, and then this one has been around for a while, but it's just very, very good. So this card says Crimson Resonator. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. The only other monster you control is exactly one Dark Dragon Synchro monster. You can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except a copy of itself, once per turn, and then you're locked into Dark Dragon Synchros, which is no problem, right? And then this is Bone Archfiend. We're only going to use it to normal summon in the end, but keep this effect in mind for the rest of the turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. You're locked right into Dark Dragon Synchros. You can target one face-up monster you control, send one Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase or decrease the targeted monster's level by 1. So a lot of effects there. It's a free special summon. Let's see, Foolish Burial something. All of these things will come up at some point in the combo. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and special summon, right? Control no monsters, and then I can normal summon. This is going to help you go into one of the main monsters. It's been around for a long time, but it's very good. It's a non-once per turn. When this card is synchro summon, you can target a Resonator monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You're locked, and that's pretty much all you need to know. You're going to go ahead and bring back this Crimson Resonator. So, obviously now you can only control, right, a Dark Dragon Synchro. So you can special summon 2 from the deck. Very, very nice. You're going to go ahead and special summon one of the new ones, which is Soul Resonator and Synchron Resonator, right? It's not actually a Synchron card. Spelled a little bit differently, which is kind of funny. So this is one of the new ones. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one level 4 lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of itself. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Dark Synchro monsters. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to know there. You're going to go ahead and add a Synchron Resonator. Okay, it's a free special summon, right? If there's a Synchro on the field, you can special summon this card. This was very popular in that Hout combo for a while there with Cupid Pitch. Pretty sure this was the card that was used very frequently. You can go ahead and change that Soul Resonator and Red Rising Dragon into one of the most famous monsters from this deck, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. So, right, it's just targeting one face-up card on the field, quick effect, you get to negate it. And then you're going to go ahead and synchro it right off. You may think that's very bizarre, why would you make it and then synchro it off? But there is a reason. So, again, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add one back, basically. You can add back the new Soul Resonator. It's actually kind of just a free discard. So again, that was one of its effects right from the graveyard. You can send one card from your hand, and then you get to bring it back. Then you can go ahead and target this, decreasing its level by 1, and Foolish Burial this Obsessive Uva Loop. So this lets you send a Dark, or just a Fiend Tuner, excuse me, it doesn't have to be Dark, which is very important because this is an Earth monster. If this card is in your hand, you can target a Synchro monster you control, or in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, special summon this card. Or, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Synchro monster you control, or in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. Okay, so you can go ahead and Synchro off again. So like I said, this is not a once per turn, the Red Rising Dragon. And then you can bring back the Synchron. And then you can go ahead and banish that Red Rising, which is really good, right? Because it fuels this Bestial Dissipator, which is great. And then you can go ahead and banish the Hot Red Archfiend Abyss, which is really important, because now you can special summon it back with the Bestial Synchro, and then you free special summon, right? All you have to do is control a Synchro monster. Then you can Synchro summon all of those off, the Resonator, the Uva Loop. It's almost am I really saying this right? Uva Loop. And the other Resonator and the Red Rising Dragon into one of the monsters that kind of slipped under the radar for a while just because the new support hadn't come with it, so it's kind of hard to special summon this guy. That's Red Supernova Dragon, so it must be synchro summoned. Gains 500 attack for each tuner in your graveyard. Okay, great. Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Even better. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster effect is activated, or when an opponent's monster declares an attack, quick effect, you can activate this effect. Banish this card. Also banish all cards your opponent controls. Once per turn during your next end phase, after this card was banished by its own effect, special summon this card. And you can also just cheat it back too with Bestial Dissipator every single turn, which is really great. So this is obviously like a super impactful one card. It has a bunch of attack. It just clears your opponent's field like Topologic Bomb. It's not Bomber Dragon. It's not Trisbana. It's the other one that was used in Orcus for a while. Literally just banishes. But it's not even your cards that get banished. It's just your opponent's, which is really cool. And then 2 Synchron Resonators were sent to the graveyard, so you can add 2 back to your hand. And then the Bestial Dragon can bring back the Hot Red Archfiend. That was just 2 cards, right? You're obviously going to have 3 other blank ones in your hand. Some things I think that, as I've watched more replays from this deck, that it kind of feels necessary is like Pot of, maybe like a Pot of card. I don't really know what that could be. Maybe it's Pot of Prosperity. Maybe it's Pot of Desires. I don't know, but I guess you probably have to play Cross-Eyed Designator in this deck because it's so reliant on its normal summon effects and stuff like that. I don't know. I could see Pot of Prosperity and probably a few other cards that just to help you, like I can't think. Small World. I could not think of that card name. Here's the other one. So like that's the bread and butter combo. This is like sort of just like a test stand. Again, I'll show you where I got this combo from, but just to see like where the higher ceiling comes from. Like the Bestial package seems to be like a really good thing to put in here, just because you can do some crazy stuff with this new trap that is coming out. But you can add anything. Like it doesn't actually matter. It's going to be Magnemut in this case. Again, this is like the best card to see in your opening. That's why I think Small World and Pot of Prosperity, and they have the Crimson Searcher, to go through that as well. So same opening here, right? Special Summon Resonator, Bone Archfiend. It's going to start here, but you'll see like just having one Lubellion is actually going to change the entire trajectory of where you go with this. You can go ahead and bring out, the 2 other ones here. Same thing, Resonator and Synchron Resonator. This is pretty much the same here. It's going to help you add. You can add another one of your Synchron. And that's why I like this combo, right? Because it does seem so similar. Right? It's going to start the exact same way. Hot Red Archfiend. And then you go into the Bestial. So you're like, okay, well, where is this going? So this gets to add back because it was sent from the field to the graveyard as synchro material. Special summon by throwing one into the, back into the graveyard. And then you can decrease the level. Foolish Burial, the Obsessive Oovaloop. And that can help you go into another Red Rising Dragon, with the Resonator and the Archfiend. And then you can bring back the Synchron Resonator. Oovaloop can come back, or, can bring yourself to the hand. And then, banish again. It's very similar. Like, these are basically kind of they feel like very similar cards in a sense. But they're just very recursive. So you can go ahead and bring back the Hot Red. And then you can churn those into Bane. And you're like, what is going on here? Okay, so then you can go ahead and send back the Archfiend off the field. Again, you synchro summon it, you banish it, you bring it back, and then you get rid of it again. So this is the new Bestial trap that's coming out. Etude of the Branded. During either player's turn, you could immediately, after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using monsters you control's material, including a dragon monster. So you may be thinking, like, what are you going to be doing here? I'll show you in a second. Very, very cool interaction. This card is great. You contribute a monster, target a red dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, which is very, very cool. Also, it brings a bunch of stuff out when it inflicts battle damage. This card's super great, right? 3,500 attack, very accessible. So you can bring back the Omni Negate, right? You have the monster negate, you have the quick effect negate, and then you can get 2 free special summons. So it's Creation Resonator, and then it's Synchron Resonator. So you have all these bodies on the board, and then you just pass turn, and it just doesn't seem very good. So these 2 cards are good, obviously, but take a look. During your opponent's turn, like during the standby phase or during the draw phase, you go ahead and synchro summon using all of those bodies, and helps you go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. I really like this combo because I feel like the ceiling is much higher It's a small engine, right? The combo line is almost exactly the same, but it just diverts there at the end, which is like really, really, really good. When it's synchro summon, your opponent is just locked out of playing the game, and they can't activate cards in response, basically, which is just absolutely bananas. It's a 4,000 attack body. You already have all these other things that you can do, which is so cool. That's why I like this combo so much, just as a juxtaposition to the first one. Both are good, but I think that you can kind of condense these, you know, and maybe go for some higher ceiling stuff, which I always like to do when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! But that is a look at the new structure deck. I think I'm going to try to build my own deck now that I kind of understand how it plays, and, you know, just kind of see how it goes from there. But other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.